This is week 4 of building our van's RV-9 Empennage.
So we're still working on the rudder, and the small piece, it's hard to see, it's very long, that we have over at the drill press is the trailing edge. It's a little wedge that goes into the trailing edge of the rudder to hold the two skins together. And we are countersinking it, meaning it's like dimpling, but actually putting the cone-shaped shapes on the holes so that the rivets can go through from each side. So we had to countersink both sides of it. Looks like I was priming some parts there after reading. I think Kelsey mentioned it before. We prime only some of the parts, the ones that are going to be, if they're steel or if they're uncoated aluminum or aluminum that's going to be touching steel, we like to prime those interfaces.
And we're starting to rivet the spar of the rudder. But unfortunately, we can only rivet so much because we realized that we need to order a replacement part. And so that's what we're doing.
Yep, we're replacing the rudder spar brace. The drawings had us cut it at a particular spot, and when we went to put it in place, it was too short. So we have a new part on order. Not very expensive, I think $22, but it typically takes a couple weeks to get something from the van's aircraft across the coast. So we started to move on to the horizontal stabilizer again, since we received the nose ribs yesterday, or the day before this video.
And that's what we're doing right now. I am pulling the blue vinyl and Sam is deburring the edges.
Yeah,
Of those nose ribs, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of work. And just deburring and polishing edges and getting them ready to use. And you can see we put them on the board, we make sure they're straight, we flute them, which is a technique to make sure they're straight and all the holes are lined up. And there we are, we're putting the nose ribs in place, those small little things that are on the right side of the skeleton from this view. Oh, there's a little hug there.
Oh, how cute.
We must have done something good. All right, reading the plans, make sure we don't do anything wrong.
And starting fresh the next day, we are going to start taking this thing apart.
Put it together, take it apart. Put it together, take it apart. That's always seems to be the thing to do.
Seems like it goes apart much faster than it goes together.
All right, so I'm deburring, and this is the last time we have to do any of the deburring before we actually put things together. So you can see I'm deburring all the spars and the large pieces, getting all the machine ends off. There I'm working through every one of the lightning holes with a deburring grinder, while Kelsey is using the small cordless deburrer to deburr all the small holes. And you can see I'm priming some of the parts. And back to the workbench. We're taping parts of the spar so that I can prime the areas that are going to get the steel pieces, the braces. Okay, now we're building the horizontal stabilizer jig. It holds either the right or left side, making sure it's level, mounting it to the workbench. Kelsey did a great job duct taping the edges so that we don't scratch anything. And there you see we put a skin in.
And we start from the bottom up, so from the most inside piece of the nose ribs, and we just build our way up until we have a complete section.
Yep. Now the main ribs are going in. The inner spar is in, and 1 second we'll have the outer spar on top. As you can see, we cleco every other hole so that we can we can drill out every other hole, and then we move the clecos. Lots of clecos. There we go. Almost like a typewriter. We're just working our way down. And we work really well in tandem here. I drill, and as soon as I drill, Kelsey's right in front of me, moving the clecos.
Doing a little rearranging.
All right, and as always, put it together, take it apart. Put it together, take it apart. And the reason we have to take it apart is, once we drill all those holes, then you have to take it apart and deburr all those surfaces that the drill bit went through to make sure they're perfectly smooth for the rivets. This is the right side, or this is the left side. We did the right side first. Now we're working on the left side. And you'll see us take it apart here in a second. I think we went home, left it together. Oh, I think we decided to hang our air hose somewhere else.
Yep.
All right, this is...
Oh, that's the unboxing of our Clemson Aeronautic
that's
yokes.
right. It was an exciting day. We got some new yokes for our pneumatic squeezer from Clemson Aeronautics. Great company, great owner who's personally talked to me many times and has texted me and has really provided some assistance.
And now we're to countersinking the spars.
Oh boy, this was a lot of work. So Kelsey was doing more deburring, and we were able to countersink the rivets using just a pneumatic squeezer or the DRDT2, but the spars are so thick you can't dimple those, so you have to actually countersink each one. So I'm using a special countersink cage on the drill, and I have to go through each one and countersink every hole on both spars, all four spars, left, right, aft, and forward. It probably took us all afternoon to just run through one at a time. And after you do 5 or so, you put a rivet in just to make sure it sits flush with the material. And then you just continue to move on. I'm realizing now that my rolling seat is really coming in handy there.
Yeah, it is. I am working on using the soldering iron to remove the blue vinyl from the aluminum.
I'm cleaning up. Oh, now I'm getting ready to countersink. Well, that was so fast. We were double checking, but I was countersinking the spar doublers.
And we are dimpling the ribs now. Sam's holding the pneumatic squeezer in the upright position, and I'm running the ribs through as he activates the trigger.